Here's ClickLearn Attain. It's your number one authoring solution when it comes to documenting any processes that you have in your business system. In ClickLearn Attain, we work in projects. So you first of all have a great overview of all the projects that you're doing internally in your organization. Here you can see I'm working on a project, and at the same time my colleague Christine is also working on a project. Setting up a project is quite easy. You simply just click on New, and then ClickLearn will guide you through all your needs to setting up this project. Now my project is set up and I'm ready to do my recording of my different processes. To start a recording, I simply just go up here and start a new recording. I give my recording a name and I choose the language that I want to do this on. ClickLearn is now starting up the recorder and it gives me the ability to go in and choose, do I want to do a single step on automatic? Now I know my process, so I'll go for automatic and start the recording. ClickLearn follows me all the way through my process. All I do is just indicate how I would do this process in a normal set, and ClickLearn follows along. Our recording has now been completed, and we are ready to go to the editor. As you can see, all the steps we went through, they have been recorded. ClickLearn has instantly created the written instructions, made a perfectly cropped screen capture, and marked up the area of interest through all the steps we went through. In here, I can also start adding in text blocks, so I can add in additional information, I can add in headers, and I can add in additional images, or I can start grouping some of the steps together. But not only have ClickLearn created these written instructions, it actually created 7 different learning formats. So instantly, I have access to 3 different types of videos. 2 of them are interactive. One of them is a walkthrough of the process. All of them have narration of the instructional sentences. And of course, I have 3 downloadable written formats also: Word, PDF, and PowerPoint presentation. When I've edited my recordings and I've set everything up how I want it to appear to my audience, then I want to create a learning portal so they can easily engage with the material. Here you can see I speeded up the process a little bit and already did a couple of recordings additionally to this project. First, I want to structure it, and I can do that quite easily with Attain also. Here within the structure, I've organized all my recordings into sections. I've added in headliners, I've added in dividers, I've even added in hyperlinks so that I can easily join the web pages that I created documentation for. If I go to the preview, then I have an instant overview of everything that I've created. Within this preview, I can easily access my material, and in here you can even see all my different 7 formats that we talked about earlier. Now, creating documentation is not always a single-man job. Often we have a larger team that works together to create the documentation. Here you can see how I've set up a team that all have access to the same information that I do in this process, and we can all collaborate at the same time. This also means that we can start up adding in tasks for each other, and I can now have one of my friends go in and help me to do the translation of all our documentation. Because a lot of the times I need to localize all my material into different languages. Now, I originally recorded all of this in English, but I had already assigned one of my friends to go in and do the replay of all our material. So the Spanish part has already been created, and the German part. In here we can see that I'm actually missing replaying 5 of the instructions that we created. You always have an overview of how far are you within the translation of your documentation. If you need to add in assets, that means external documentation, images, documents, well then we can also add that into your project. Now that you've created all your documentation, you set up all your different processes in a nice learning portal, and you've even localized it into different languages. Now you want to make it available for end users. Of course, you can host this yourself, but we can also host it for you. By hitting publish and adding it to the Content Cloud, then we will host it on Microsoft Azure for you. Since all the content we've shown you is created on a responsive design, that means that you can view this from any browser on any device. Well, then we will deliver a URL where you can easily access that material. What we can also do is that we can create an inside app solution for your SharePoint, and now you can have your documentation and your learning portal made available directly inside your SharePoint solution. We can also create an inside app experience, so now you can access the material from within your solution. Here you can see the learning portal that we created. It is completely searchable, so I can easily find what I'm looking for. I can move around into the different sections that we did before, and I have everything available directly from my Content Cloud. And since I created this in multiple languages, my end users can just go up here on the globe and choose the language of choice. So now they get to see the documentation in their native language, and they can even choose the format of their learning style. Now, if I add it to my SharePoint solution, then it would have looked like this. Or if I go to my application, then I can even add it directly into that solution. What I can also do is get instant assistance directly from within the application. So how did I create that challenge? Just click on that one, and on top of that, my little friend here will guide me through the process of going in and creating a challenge just like we did in the beginning. So not only do I get 7 different learning formats, I also get live guidance on top of my system. And of course, when an update comes out, ClickLearn will help you update all your material instantly. We have a replay function that will automatically run through all your processes and update your material accordingly to the new updates that came out. And that also goes for any customizations that you added to your system. If you want to learn more about ClickLearn or see a deeper introductions to this, then please reach out to us at clicklearn.com.